Do you have a dog but don't have a fenced-in yard? Your HOA won't allow a fence? Worried about having to watch your furry friend anytime you go outside? Avoid the blazing hot summers and freezing cold winters with All-American Dog Fence. All-American Dog Fence is the cost-effective, easy-to-use, in-ground fence system to keep your dog secure and give you peace of mind anytime they're outside. All-American Dog Fence backs their Pet Stop products with a lifetime warranty. Call or text All-American Dog Fence at 317-862-6606 or visit their website at allamericandogfence.com. Mention the Rob Kendall Show and get $200 off a new installation.
DC politicians don't care. Buying stocks with insider information, they get filthy rich. But if you did it, you'd get locked up. Thankfully, there's one fighter on our side. Senator Todd Young is pushing to ban all congressional stock trading forever. He's never traded a single stock while in Congress. Young's a Marine who does the right thing. Contact Senator Todd Young. Thank him for standing up for us and for fighting to ban congressional stock trading.
Buying a home or thinking about refinancing? Work with someone local who understands the central Indiana market. Gary Tedrow with Verity Mortgage helps homebuyers and homeowners explore options for purchasing, refinancing, or even consolidating higher interest debt through their mortgage. Gary's approach is simple, clear advice, and personalized guidance, so you can make confident decisions. Visit loansbygary.homes to learn more or get started today. You've got nothing to lose but dollars on your mortgage payment. So call for a free, no-obligation quote, 317-695-5179. Gary Tedrow, NMLS number 179207 with Verity Mortgage, NMLS number 70345, an equal housing opportunity lender.
Welcome back. It is the Rob Kendall Show. Look who it is. Back by popular demand, Indy reporter Stephen Whitmer. Hello.
Hello.
All right. So you went to the big Save Heritage Indiana event on Saturday.
Yep.
I had an issue not with the event itself, but that they made it so secretive. I thought if you want to prove a point, you got to get the people there.
Yeah.
And I felt like the secretive, we're not going to tell you where it's at, and then we're going to have you go somewhere and then go somewhere else like a scavenger hunt. I thought that sort of undermined the cause because then the anti-people got to have this big public protest where it wouldn't cost anything to go. You went to the event. What say you?
It was a pretty good event, and I will say that it was more of like a paid speaker thing more than anything. I know everybody was putting on this like, oh, we're going to have like 500 to 1,000 people in the park, and we're going to be talking about mass deportations. But it was more about having a Greg Bovino there and then speak at an event. There's been a couple of events that I've gone to where I pay to go there, and I know there's a lot of like hoopla, as they would say, of how many people were there. I counted it up because I was there. There were about 135 people that were there. And
pretty good for a paid event.
That's what I'm saying. And the biggest reason why it wasn't like out in the public, I saw some of the messages and the text, and a lot of the people on the left are getting pretty violent, and that's what they were worried about.
Well, that was my thing. Is it's like, okay, it was a law-abiding event.
Yep.
Everybody behaved themselves.
Yep.
Everybody who went there consented. They paid money. Just let you guys have your event.
Yeah.
And of course, the left can't stand that. So they've got to have some massive protest rally over the fact that some guy who was a high-ranking government official came and gave a speech.
Yeah, and it was kind of, there are a couple of people that I talked to who were kind of annoyed with the cloak and dagger stuff.
Well, that was bad.
Yeah,
they should not have done that.
I thought I had fun with it. You know what? Listen, everybody knows that I'm kind of a crazy dude, and I always have fun with maybe the scavenger hunt. But, the amount of threats that they were getting, and they were worried about violence. And this wasn't like some KKK rally that everybody was putting off. It was like going to a J.D. Vance event, basically. Everybody was in a suit and tie. They had nice shoes. It was, a kind of a formal affair. And there wasn't anything crazy that was talked about. And, there was some drama that happened before that, as you probably know. And it was just about we are a law nation and we want to enforce the laws.
That was my whole thing of this is the left can't stand that you guys even exist.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. We have to have a protest rally. Protest about what? Well, there's this event. Well, what's going on there? We don't know. But this guy's speaking, and we don't like that he was in charge of the border. And it's like, there's all sorts of private events that happen that I don't agree with. I don't go throw a fit and have a protest about it. And they just make themselves look anti-free speech, anti-freedom. And then their whole thing with the, it's always the abolish ICE. They, like, you do more harm for your cause than good, because I think the average person is closer to you guys than the protesters.
Yeah, and it really came down to just enforcing the laws. You're not supposed to be here. You got to go through the legal way. There's a few other things that were talked about, but that was the big message out of the entire event.
There were no Nazis that I saw.
Nope, no white hats.
There were no Ku Klux Klan people.
No burning crosses.
Well, and we talked about this yesterday on Monday. When you have guys like Fatty Cadora comparing you guys to the Ku Klux Klan, first of all, it's insulting to every person who was subjected to the Ku Klux Klan or Nazis or whatever. There's nothing that went on there that other than you guys just said, hey, follow the law. Yeah. And then and you lose the plot. You lose normal people when you're comparing you guys to the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, when they're going that far extreme. And then comparing it to like the worst atrocities in human history, it just really makes them look really bad too. Because I think we've been around the game for a little bit, they're losing more support day by day when they go is like, well, you guys are the crazy ones. You guys are, insert whatever here. And it's like, no, we're just wanting to enforce the law. You're not supposed to be here. You're out of here. And more people, even the normies. It's kind of crazy when you go to like the grocery store normies, and then they're just like, yeah, just follow the law. What is so hard about that?
Well, and I'll get to this Sikh deal here in just a second, because I think that is ground zero for what you guys are trying to say about a lack of assimilation, about a lack of people wanting to do things the right way. But before we do that, what is this Save Heritage Indiana? What are they trying to accomplish?
They're really wanting to go back to like Hoosier. I wouldn't say Hoosier hospitality, but it's more or less like what is a Hoosier, and then assimilation, and then going back into the founding roots of Indiana.
Any idea why Banks and Braun didn't want any part of that?
I'm sure they didn't want any of that heat. Banks
is out there. Braun's a big wimp, but Banks is pretty.
And that was basically what the deal was with Banks. They were, and I know there were some people. I listened to Tony Katz today, and they were saying like, well, we want a video, we wanted some kind of endorsement. And when I talked to Daniel Pointer, who's the head of Save Heritage Indiana,
he's supposed to be with us for Friday's show. That's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
Look, I give the guy credit. I sent him a message, and he responded right away, and he said, "I'll come in whenever." He wasn't ducking anything.
Yeah, he's open to any kind of interview just to get the conversation going. And I think that's what I wish more the left would understand is like, why don't we just have an open conversation about it?
Do you feel like you got your $50 worth?
Oh yeah,
there was good value.
Oh yeah, there's great value. I know some people weren't. The weather was the worst part, but like we've had 2 weeks now where it was supposed to rain and then it never rained,
right. And
it was just the unfortunate part. That was really the only bad thing was the weather.
Indy Reporter is our guest. Let's talk about the Sikhs for a second. Mm-hmm. What is it? There's a Khalistan referendum. Is that what it's called?
Yep, there sure is.
Okay. You posted this video. So Sikhs are a religion inside Indian territory. Mm-hmm. And there are all sorts of Sikhs now in the United States. There's all sorts of Sikhs in Indiana. And you posted this video of these people, what look like miles of traffic on a crowded interstate. And they're waving these, or they have these flags attached to their cars about this Khalistan referendum, which basically is trying to let the Sikhs break off inside of Indian territory.
Yep.
And they're honking horns, and then they're posting these Khalistani referendum flags in communities, including in Brownsburg, and they're yelling in foreign languages. And I'm looking at this going, this is not assimilation. You are in America. You are in Indiana. If you wanted to be here, why are you this concerned about what's going on in a country you fled? You're always the voice of reason.
I try to be.
What say you?
Well, that's actually part of the Save Heritage Indiana too. Was, well, how did we get here? And then when you bring in new people, are you going to assimilate to America, to Indiana, so on and so forth? But People don't know about this whole Khalistan thing, too. They're basically wanting to have an independent state carved out of India's Punjab region, arguing that the Indiana function as an occupying force there. So that's really what their whole goal is. But
But that seems very like, you live in America now.
Exactly. Yep.
What are you doing?
Yeah, go back over there and vote that.
Yeah, if you want to fight for that, by all means.
Here's the best part. I've been told that if you are an American citizen, you're not allowed to vote in it. So, like, I've seen it. It's happening at Lugar Plaza. There's one in Greenwood, aka Bollywood now. And it was like, well, what if you have an American or a U.S. ID? You're not allowed to vote in it. So, are you kind of telling yourself that you're not supposed to be here?
Well, this is what I don't understand, because the signs are everywhere,
Oh, yeah.
and I kind of ignored it for a while. And then you posted that video of the traffic,
Yeah.
and then there was like some event afterwards where they're all shouting in a foreign language, and it's like, this is not assimilation,
No.
guys. Like, I'm all for the wide gate with the big wall.
Yeah.
But this is not you assimilating. This is not you wanting to be a part of what we are. You're wanting to make us like you is what this comes off
Yeah,
as.
you're basically telling us it's okay if, I mean, it looked like an invasion, really. And when
You get in so much trouble when you say that. It was
I
hard
know.
to argue with the phraseology.
I think so. I mean, if you look at it, how you have a horde, like I was just watching Troy the other night. And you have like this horde of a foreign nation coming into your doorstep with their flag, with their banner, and it's like, well, does that not look like an invasion or like an act of war almost? And that what you were talking about with that highway, they even were bragging like it is 5 miles long.
Is that what they were saying? 5 miles?
Yeah, it's 5
I
miles
didn't
long.
do the mileage because I thought maybe Steven's just ad-libbing for effect.
No, they admitted that it was 5 miles long, and then I found another video where they were going like 15 miles per hour on 65, going north.
Well, that was the thing to me. It's like you're disrupting traffic.
Yeah.
Like you're clearly like, look at us, and we're going to disrupt all these motorists for miles who now have to go around you because you guys are taking up the highway for some Indian reference.
Yeah, exactly. That has nothing to do with this country.
One of the things that's interesting to me is because you get a lot of flack, and we always do the disclaimer. I don't agree with everything you say or the way you say it, but I think the majority, and I said this yesterday about the event you went to with the Save Heritage people.
Mm-hmm.
People are afraid to speak out because they don't want to get a label to istophobe or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you were to say, where is the average person? Are they with the Abolish ICE or are they with you guys in the tent? I think the average Hoosier is much more with you guys in the tent as it relates to legal immigration versus the Abolish ICE, open borders, everyone's, welcome, no rules whatsoever people.
Yeah, 100%. And the people that were at their event, these are regular people, business owners, veterans, just regular college kids too.
Did the guy get in trouble for streaming the event? That was great for me. I don't think anybody knew he was streaming, but he wasn't like silently streaming. He was like doing it publicly, but it was great to be able to watch. And I'm watching this event going, okay, this isn't like, the greatest event ever, but it's very normal. Like I felt like if you guys had done this out in the open, not you guys, I'm saying like the organizers, then more people would have seen this and been like, yeah, this is like really normal mainstream conversation.
Yeah, we're just having a talk. This is what we want, enforcing the laws, and no big deal. It's not like anybody's throwing out any like a salute or anything's firing it off in the background. It's like, no, there were like roosters in the background.
Indy reporter Stephen Whitmer is our guest at Indy_reporter_ on Twitter. Okay, IEDC. Nobody's dug more into the IEDC than you. Braun made this big declaration last year. We're changing the board. We're auditing the IEDC. New day, new us. And then it's $250,000 for a suite to a racing event. Like it seems like it's all the same stuff they were doing before, just under a new name. You've been digging into the finances of the IEDC. What say you? Yeah,
so I went back and you can find different keywords, but then they get kind of sneaky with the addendum. So
it's always the addendum.
It is. And if I have to lock myself. I have to put horse blinders on. It's like focus on that, look at the transparency portal and just go through it. A little help with ChatGPT to make sense of the legalese of it. But overall, like the amount of money that they're spending with these law firms to try and acquire land with LEAP, with this Project Goldfinch and other other.
Well, that sounds like a bond project. What's it called?
It was Project Goldfinch.
Oh, that sounds like something James Bond would have to.
But the weird part is, in the same contract, when they're having the addendums, they change it to, I think, like Project Domino, and it is basically a data center.
Okay, let's come back to the LEAP stuff, though.
Yeah,
you found that they had spent like $3.75 million with one firm, just on legal work for land acquisition.
Yep.
Holy smokes!
Yeah. And within like a couple of years, and it kept changing too. So they kept adding into it. It was like watching a DPW contract for an over. It's like, hey, you know what? We thought it was going to be this much. Turns out it's actually that much. And then they just keep adding on to it. And the IEDC is like, oh, yeah, let's just keep going, bros.
Well, and, we've had Gentry in several times, and we give Gentry credit. I think Gentry likes the attention.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He comes in and takes the smoke. But it's like, okay, other than the people in the city of Lebanon, who the hell is benefiting because of this? And I don't see an answer outside of the freebies that the city of Lebanon has been guaranteed.
No, and like you said, credit Gentry for showing up, but at the same time, he's claiming, he's like, oh, well, you know what, this LEAP project will pay for everybody's property taxes. Like, yeah, that's not going to happen, and you're going to be out of office before the LEAP project even starts. So you can go back, or you can go in the future, and I'm calling it now. I'm calling it now, Matt. I know that's not going to happen. I'll bet you money on it. And all you're going to say, all you're going to do is shrug your shoulders like, hey, well, that's what I wanted to happen. Right. Not my fault my predecessors doing that.
Well, you're going to have 2 referendums in Lebanon already, 2 school referendums and a police station referendum.
Yeah.
So spare me that we're getting rid of property tax.
Yeah,
stuff.
not happening.
But it's amazing to me. You say, okay, that's legal bills on one deal, one firm. Think of all the roads $3.75 million could pave, all the helping the people that take care of the severely disabled. I mean, like how do we say we have no money in our state, but then, oh, yeah, here's $3.75 million just for legal expenses to acquire land.
And it wasn't just them. I found a Baker Tilly contract. In fact, if you want to just briefly talk about the IEDC, you remember the Three Kings article?
Oh, yes, we remember the Three Kings very well.
So one of the guys there.
So real quick, there was an article, and most of our audience probably knows this, but we always get new listeners when you're on.
You got to fill them in.
People poking around.
Yeah.
Right? There was an article last year in the Indy Star about these 3 guys who basically controlled a huge portion of the flow of money out of the IEDC, and a bunch of it either went to companies they were affiliated with, they were in charge of, their friends were running, and they dubbed these guys the Three Kings.
Yep. So one of them is Chad Pittman, and, well, for you guys who don't know, David Roberts, Paul Mitchell, and Chad Pittman were the Three Kings. One of the guys, Chad Pittman, who I thought was, king guy, the top of the kings. Funny enough, there is a building called like the Emerging Manufacturing Collaboration Center, the EMC squared. It's over off of Indiana Avenue. He owns that building. I checked the contract. That building goes to 10 different LLCs that he's part of. On top of that, the IEDC leases it from him. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. So I'm trying to figure out who paid to get it built. It was like, was there a joint combination?
I always tell you to watch yourself wherever you go. But it's just like, it's always these uber connected people dealing with more uber connected people.
Yeah.
And I think the race thing is the big one to me. It's like, you're going to spend $250,000 for a suite at a race in Washington, D.C. to inform people, hey, we're Indianapolis, we're really into racing. Maybe you didn't know. Yeah. There's a race every May that people really like to. What are we doing?
Yeah. I got a feeling that was an Indiana Chamber thing, because remember, they want to change it from Naptown to like Speed City.
Am I wrong though? Nothing's changed.
No. I think it's slowed down, or it's either it's the same, or they are finding sneakier ways of doing it. Because before, they were so bold. It's like, hey, check out me on a camel in Egypt. Do you remember those pictures?
The governor, right?
Yeah, Holcomb. With Holcomb. Yeah.
I just, the whole thing to me is just, it's never going to stop.
No, the IEDC is going to be one of those things that become immortal.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And whatever you want to change the name to, it's always going to be the same thing.
And I said this, and I know you shared it. I said, I think you're going to look back in the not too distant future, and you're going to realize, because Michael Hicks was talking about, hey, even if you didn't agree with the IEDC, until Holcomb, it wasn't what it became today.
Yeah.
And he said it just exploded in all these bizarre bizarre ways if you were going to try to do economic development that benefits the taxpayer. And I think you're going to look back at the death of Indiana, and you're going to realize this was the catalyst, the changing of the landscape, the traditions, the industries, what we thought about to be a Hoosier. This IEDC stuff is the end of it.
Yeah, I think that would be the volcano, basically, for extinction.
Stephen Whitmer, Indy reporter, is our guest. We have so much to talk to. It's been since you've been back. Let's just see how many people we can piss off. 30 minutes. Power. You're big on power.
Yeah.
Jim Merritt, who you know I love Merritt, and there's some people you're friends with that don't like Merritt, but he is all in on the nuclear power.
Yep.
I say the nuclear power is a scam because there's not one place you can point to in this country that is powered by these small modular reactors.
Yeah.
We keep hearing it's a silver bullet.
Yep.
There's all sorts of giveaways to utility companies to do the SMR research.
Yeah.
What say you?
Yep. Totally agree. And they're going to say, it's like, oh, what are you talking about? We have small modular reactors. They're on submarines. They're on like military stuff. But so when you talk about it, you have to make sure it's like, well, show me where it's being run right now is like a commercial. Show me where it's being run by or a building's being run by it. So I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago, IBJ Media, they had a 4-hour conference on their nuclear event summit. Very well done. I will, I'll give them props to that. But a couple of takeaways that I found was the reason why they want nuclear is because of data centers. Now, I went back and I watched the Summer Reliability Forum from the IURC.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that was like 4 hours.
You gave 4 hours to that?
I put it on like ×2 speed, and I just basically waterboarded my ears for 2 hours. So I checked to see how many times they talked about data centers. It was 23 times. And the most common reason why they were talking about data centers, because they were saying, we are seeing an increase in load primarily driven by large data centers. And this isn't like cloud buildings. This is hyperscalers that they're talking about. This is the stuff that's happening in St. Joseph County and New Carlisle and, soon to be in Indianapolis and all over the place in Indiana. And the reason why they want nuclear is to power those because they don't have enough generation between natural gas, coal, which is really funny because then it goes into the next thing, which I think is going to be the ultimate scam. And I can get all the hate. That's fine. But this is what I believe. And I was talking to a few people that are familiar with this whole energy scam. So hear me out.
So there is no nuclear right now because the guy who got picked to the IURC even said this, that he basically said, we're not there with this.
Yeah.
We're not even close, but yet we're building the data centers now.
Yeah.
So if you're 20 years off, what are you doing for 20 years?
Well, all right. So back up a little bit, because when Braun was running for governor, I was at an event, and this was like 23 or 24, and he said, if we were to stick a shovel in the ground now, we won't have a nuclear plant open for 3 to 4 years. I was like, all right, that's fine. But then what they're wanting to do now in the Palisades in Michigan and 3 Mile Island too, what they are doing is they are trying for the very first time in history, in U.S. history, is reopen or restart a nuclear facility.
Oh, no.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Sounds like a horror movie.
Sounds very expensive, too.
Something comes out of the ground that wasn't supposed to
They're going to Frankenstein this nuclear plant over in Michigan, and it's a $1.5 billion loan from the Office of Energy, I think. And then Michigan is throwing an extra $300,000 on it. Now, they're already a little bit behind, as anticipated. So they're wanting to start it up by like the end of this year or beginning of next year. But I was trying to figure out, I was like, okay, what's worst case scenario?
Well, but what do we do? There is not enough power. It doesn't, and yet we keep approving these data centers.
Yeah.
What are we gonna? I'm not trying to be conspiracy
No,
theorist,
I completely agree.
But if there is not enough power, and you keep building these things, somebody's going to have to go without. I don't see them telling Mr. Data Center Man, hey, you're going to have to shut off for a few hours, Google.
Yeah.
Hey, Zuckerberg, Facebook will be down between the hours of 9 and noon.
Yeah, it'll be like the AI data center. So basically where I'm at is the coal companies can't afford to rebuild or modernize these aging plants. We saw Trump trying to keep one keep one open in Indiana that was never producing anything. And I heard it was for crypto mining. And so the plan is to replace those stranded assets with SMRs. The problem is there isn't a single commercial SMR operating in the U.S. today, which is true. You see them in like Russia and China. The technology is still unproven at scale, which we saw in like Idaho, and the projects being proposed are among the most expensive energy investments ever considered. So what their plan is, but the data centers can afford the power because they're getting all these massive tax incentives too.
You're right.
And so they're like, well, we'll help build some of all this. And so the model becomes the taxpayers help fund the reactors, subsidies help attract the data centers, and the data centers are expected to make the economics work.
Yeah. So basically, they're not paying full taxes. They get all this stuff for free.
Yep.
So then they're like, well, we'll use that to help the power grid.
Yep.
But in the immediate future, it doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, because it still has to be turned on at the end of the day.
Right.
And I'm sure you guys saw the...
so you might break even.
Yeah.
In like 10 years.
Exactly. And so you probably saw the connection of the dots with the Jaworowskis.
Yeah. I want to have you back to talk about that because I can't go for an hour with you.
We could offline.
but I did want to ask you, because we're not going to get to the Diego stuff either, but I'll have you back. I'm fascinated by how much you hate Greg Ballard. Okay, just hear me out on this,
okay,
right?
I'll hear you.
I'm not a Ballard political fan, right? When he was mayor, I was critical of him, and that was when I was still in the club. I got told all the time, you got to sit down, you got to shut up. Red mayor, blue city, you don't get it, Rob, gold standard.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a political Greg Ballard fan. Like the cake stuff or the Infosys stuff or the cricket stadium stuff or the Blue Indy stuff, it's all fair game.
Mm-hmm.
But from a big picture perspective of the amount of people he will allow to participate if his campaign gets 10%, the millions of people who have been locked out who can participate.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not endorsing him. I'm not saying vote for him, but I'm saying I'm on board with that. You despise Greg Ballard.
I just don't like Greg Ballard. I like what he's doing. I just wish it was a different dude. That's all.
You got to see the bigger picture, man. This is what floors me about you, because you hate the Republicans too. And I'm like, the one way you're going to break them is this guy if he's successful.
No, I know. So I'm okay. I think this is my theory, of course. I think he's just doing this. I don't know if he's bored. I said this about Jamie too. You could have
Rittenhour.
Yeah, Rittenhour. You could have gone into the dusk. You could have gone off like that cowboy or that cowgirl that you got third place out of 4. You could have gone off as the greatest Republican mayor in Indianapolis. It could have been done, but then you decided to do this, and I think it's tragic for his legacy. But you never know what will turn out. Well, there was that. If
he gets 10%, he's a hero.
Yeah, I know. Then it opens the floodgates for everybody. What we're hoping is that the Republicans will straighten out their message. I mean, Democrats are going to Democrat, but then it opens the door for crazy people like yours truly.
Right.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, I'm okay. That's what I say. Like, I'm okay with what he's doing. I just wish it was a different poster boy.
But so that's my question to you. The person you want does not exist, right? Because in order to do you're not raising the money Ballard.
No, I know.
That's my point. The game is so rigged that you either have to be a Ballard with infinite name ID with people who can write money, or you got to be a wealthy person.
Yeah, and
he's going to potentially take that down for millions of people. Where now there's this party, and when I asked him here, what are you guys? He's like, well. He didn't use the word mercenaries, but that's basically
he was like, we're going to be spoiler makers.
Yeah. And I was like, that's perfect for you. And yet I feel like you're so critical of Ballard.
I'm just critical of Ballard. I'm not critical of the what he's doing.
I want what he can do for me, but I'm not going to make it easy on him.
Yeah, I gotta give everybody crap evenly.
Do you buy the Max Engling "Me So Stupid" routine on the $60,000 donation?
Oh yeah, I do. I'm not in like this was a nefarious thing. It was like I did not know that I couldn't get more than $5,000 because election law is so complicated.
Wild. That's pretty clear.
I mean, that's how my take was. Like, I mean, they're going to do it through proxy at some way, no matter what, because that's just how campaign donations work. I've seen it even locally with with all the candidates running for city council. They'll give money to VOP. VOP will disperse it out to everybody else. You saw it within the primary.
It's a rigged game.
If normal people if they knew what it was, they might do something, but we also know they love their bread and circus.
Okay, before we let you go, because people will kill me if I don't ask. Are you still the Libertarian Marion County Party chair?
As of Monday, because I am still the Libertarian chair. There will be a vote on August 8th where I anticipate where I will probably be removed.
Now, they're mad at you because you said the Libertarians deserve to lose their ballot access because immigration?
Yeah. Well, there was a bigger picture to it. That was just a grenade to get some attention on it. And so my biggest problem is, which I will die on this hill, is that if you are not willing to win, if you do not want to win and you just want to spread the message, you should not have ballot access. I've said it at that meeting that we had. There's Republicans should lose ballot access because they refuse to win in Marion County. Democrats should lose ballot access because they don't want to win in Indiana. And the same thing with the Libertarians. If your whole point to being on the ballot is to spread the message, go be a Jehovah's Witness then. As like I am running Marion County because I want to win. We got 3 candidates, 2 of them want to win, 1 of them doesn't, and I am only interested on causing enough trouble where we can get more people part of the Libertarian Party.
You got to have a little bit of circus with the whole thing.
That's what I'm saying. Even there was somebody who made a post like the whole point of being a libertarian is to start crap and say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting that you were the hill they were going to die on, and they had this aneurysm about you saying that, and I thought, you're getting more attention than you guys ever get for anything else.
I literally said it at the meeting. You're welcome.
Find him on Twitter at Indy_reporter_. Full disclaimer, I don't agree with all the language you use, so that way people will leave me alone. But I love the amount of digging you do. And I always say this about you. I said it is an invaluable resource because you're doing stuff that the media doesn't do, right? And if there were no, we get so much content out of stuff that you find. So thanks for all the show content.
Happy to do it.
Yeah, we'll take a break. We'll be back. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
I'm Anthony Gary. I started Indy Dwell Real Estate because too many friends, family members, and neighbors had real estate experiences that lacked compassion, explanation, and expertise. You deserve someone in your corner with the heart of a teacher, simplifying every step of the buying or selling process. When you hire me, you get me. Start to finish, you'll never be handed off. No stress, no surprises, just the expert guidance and results you deserve. Anthony Gary, Indy Dwell Real Estate. Call or text 317-756-1159. 317-756-1159.
Did you know Honeysuckle Hill in Brazil offers more than just a fabulous made-from-scratch meal at the bistro? It also has an adjoining cottage, great for a perfect, relaxing weekend away with a scenic waterfront view. The cottage offers 3 bedrooms, 2 baths with spa-like tile showers, full kitchen, living room with fireplace, laundry facilities, and a full deck overlooking the lake. And Andy, one of the owners, delivers breakfast in a picnic basket at 8:30 each morning. Plan the perfect weekend away at the scenic Honeysuckle Hill property on the water in beautiful Brazil. Book today by visiting their website at honeysucklehillb.com.
Are you seeing cracks in mortar, moisture working through walls, facade or structural failure beginning to surface? Bramwell Mackay sets the standard for exterior and structural building solutions. Our 40-year master masons and industry experts address moisture intrusion, failing foundations, masonry deterioration, and more. From preserving historic landmarks to addressing modern building envelope issues, Bramwell Mackay delivers full-spectrum service with white-glove professionalism. In Indianapolis, call 812-33-BRICK. 812-33-BRICK.